So this is Monday the 11th, afternoon training. Don McCauley was here to watch training, and so he's here with me to comment on what happened. Hey, Don.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. I noticed during practice, you were working with Mike Zella a fair amount. What did you see over there?
Well, basically, he's coming along, getting on the mid to the back of the foot better in the first pull, not extending his hips too long, getting down up and down faster. His technique is coming along.
Yeah, he's improved a lot in the last several months. He's getting to look like a real quality lifter. I see Travis there with 125, I think, and then James with 120. Both snatched fairly well on Monday. What do you think of the exercise we did for our heavy sets on Monday? Just a snatch pull plus a snatch from below the knee.
I like it a lot. I've used that exercise myself. I think it reinforces the trajectory. I think it makes you work hard. It's a good exercise. That's all.
Travis, is it my imagination, or is he quicker under the bar than
he's quick as he's as quick as I've seen him. He's more efficient at the hip now than I've seen him before, and again, he's coming along on that stuff.
James, I tell you what, when he misses, he always misses in front. When he does that, it doesn't look like he's pulling forward, through the first pull, but he somehow just lets it get away from him when the bar's at the hip.
Yeah, I think James every once in a while, still when he goes under, dips in rather than sits down, and I think that can get those misses in front a little bit on him.
He's never been as comfortable with his hips really low as he is bending over, and whether that's catching the clean or catching the snatch. He's a lot better at it now than he was 3 or 4 months ago, but it's taken a while.
Well, 3 or 4 months ago, he'd run across the room with most of his lifts.
Yeah.
Now he hardly leaves the platform.
No. Yeah, his best in this exercise is 135, and he made 130 and tried for a 136 for a PR, but couldn't quite make it. That was Mike had a lockout problem on that lift. That was a pretty good pull.
Wasn't a bad pull.
Speaking of running across the room.
There he goes. Yeah.
I don't even think he did anything wrong on that lift. It wasn't any obvious mistake.
No.
He just.
I think it almost might have been a getting up a little wrong.
Here's a PR.
Yeah.
131.
131. Yeah, Chris is he's starting to come along. He's starting to stay with his legs and hips rather than try to jump under early.
Well, he snatched 140 here a few weeks back.
Yeah, I saw that on vid.
That was Travis with a PR. That was 142. Yeah. He didn't have the greatest day he's had, but his snatch really came on strong, and then it kind of went down a little bit. Just wasn't just the rhythm wasn't right. Now it's starting to come back. Now he's starting to make PRs again, and that's Tom predictably going forward.
Yeah, gets his hips going forward a little bit too much.
I thought he had that one.
I did too. Again, sometimes James isn't used to reaching up when he sits down correctly.
This is a good lift. That one wasn't, but you're going to make that here in a minute. That 155 was my PR when I lifted in that exercise, and John has been trying to break my PR for a while now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he'd do 150 or 152 like really easy. You'd think, you could do 160, but then he'd put 156 on as like a mental thing. I think this one's the one he makes.
Yeah.
And I think it really was a mental thing, because watch him make it here, and it's going to look easy.
Yeah, it does look easy.
I mean, he's got a lot of bar drop there. Obviously, he's got more in him. I think it was just that. The fact that he was beating my PR kind of almost like got in his head. It was such a big deal for him, and for me, too. I think it's great that he did it, but it kind of got into his head a little.
Yeah, he's when he gets his rhythm right, boy, he gets around the bar real good, real fast.
But you can see here that Jess is pushing the bar forward. And that's something she does a lot. And I've done many things trying to get that fixed. We'll work on it almost exclusively for a while, and then back away from it and work on it a ton more. And What are your suggestions there?
Boy, I think maybe go to the half platform a little more with her, but boy, she's a big, tall girl, and it's hard. It's difficult. She lifts very well.
She leaves her shoulders out in front of the
Leaves her
bar,
shoulders out in front.
raises the hips with the shoulders going down late in the lift, and we got to break that habit if the line of pull is going to improve.
Yeah,
easier said than done.
Easier said than done when you're, what is she, 5'10"?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Johnny got looking pretty good here today. Or yesterday.
So what's funny about Travis is that the pull looks so easy for him. And even with big weights, well above what he can snatch. He snatched 52, but 50, 55, 60. He can pull that bar. He can literally do a high pull and pull the bar higher than John does. With the catch, putting the bar in the right spot and then actually catching it.
There's a lot of trouble with lockout. Yep. Whereas John never has any trouble with the catch, or very much trouble. And there goes James.
There goes James on a hike.
Yeah, that was about as far forward as I saw him go, though. He wasn't bad.
No, that was about the only hike he took this training session. Even with that, he comes back and makes a great lift. But this is 130, and he goes for a triple here. Yeah. And he wasn't far away.
No, he's he's so strong. So strong. Yeah, he threw it over, which is an unusual miss for him. That's about as upright as she's going to catch right there. That's not bad. That's not bad position for her. And neither is that.
I would like to think that. I really do believe there's been some progress there.
Oh yeah, no.
This is John. He's going for 140 for 5 from the hang.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of funny. Quite a while ago, he hit 135 for 5 from the hang, and that was one of those days where everything went right. I mean, it was just a beautiful lift. It was a huge PR, like a 15-kilo PR. And then he's, obviously, the next goal was to do 140. It's kind of one of those exercises that a set of 5 is not something we normally do. But it's been one of those things where he's at the point now where he's definitely strong enough. He's definitely able. But it just seems like every time he tries, it's another one of those PRs that kind of get in your head. You tried it a bunch of times and you always somehow screw it up. And he's at that point now where it's getting to be a really stupid PR that he should break. Yeah. But it just gets in his head. And along the way from rep 1 to rep 5, he somehow makes a mistake.
Yeah, I think John is at that point. We talked about it a little earlier. He's at the point where he's stronger now, and he hasn't quite gotten that into his consciousness yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite realize how strong he is yet.
Yeah.
He will one of these days.
Yeah.
Okay. And
if you look at the relative strength level, how strong he was when he snatched 60 and when he snatched 66 versus how strong he is now, he should be snatching well over 170 now. It'll click at some point.
It will because it's just I'm comparing him to just what I saw 3 months ago, and he's much stronger. And that's because he's been emphasizing the squats. He's getting his squat up, and everything else shows it. He's always had the tremendous timing.
Heels. 2. Heels. 3. On your heels.
Yeah, that's a mental thing.
Yeah.
I think we could definitely say that.
Let's go clean and jerk.
See, this is one of the hardest exercises for James to do. Yeah. And there was a point, even when he was, had clean and jerk like 155, that he could not do this exercise with 140, which is the weight, he has on there.
Yep.
And he tends to have trouble. Oh my God, why did he cut his shirt off like that?
I think he's a brave man.
I don't
Very
know.
confident man.
Something strange about that boy. But with James, he's always been really bad because his problem getting pulled forward in the clean, and with doing the pull first and leaning back over it, of course that's going to exacerbate that problem. But there you see him get pulled forward, the elbows come down. But he's better than he was. He couldn't make this lift a month ago. This was beyond his max a month ago.
No, he's beyond it, and it's funny. He talked about it a little later, and he's got a good idea of what goes on.
Yeah.
He was saying to me at one point that I'm sitting down better, I'm getting my knees in front of my arms.
Yeah.
When I go into that hang. So he knows what the problem has been. And he tends to rush out of that hang position, and that leaves him way forward. There's Mike again, starting to make some good jerks. We talked about that a little yesterday. He wasn't dipping enough on his jerk.
Mike has relatively little problem locking the arms out. It's just holding them locked. He gets in such a hurry.
Yeah, he's too
the
fast.
front foot goes down, and he's recovering almost before the front foot comes down. This is 160. This is a huge PR for him.
Yeah, this is great lift. I mean, that's just...
He's going to miss this jerk.
He's just bull strong.
Yeah. He's about half crazy, too. I mean, he can miss 6 lifts and then get pissed off and come back and just blow it away. No. He misses it. He's going to come back and make it.
It's one of the things I like about James is misses don't mean much to him.
No.
He comes right back. It's a new lift, which you got to have that ability as a lifter. You got to wipe out the past pretty quickly. Chris had some good lifts yesterday. That wasn't one of them, but he had some good lifts yesterday. And this is James again. I think 60, right?
Yeah, Chris was cleaning pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, he was. Just a strong boy. Got that little weird right arm, but sometimes when he gets those shoulders up on that jerk, he really just kills it. You know, banging it off herself.
Yeah, that one came forward more than usual.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, even when she does that, she's still got the bar high enough.
No.
She can pull like a champion as far as just moving the bar fast and moving it up. But she just
very strong girl.
Yeah, she just gets it a little forward. Well, there's 2 pretty dang good cleans in a row there.
Pretty good.
Missed the jerk.
Yeah. Not bad.
One thing about John, that's wonderful camera work.
Yeah.
One thing about John is, he has the ability to get himself pretty dang psyched up. And while that's great, for one lift, it tends to, later in the workout, it tends to come back and haunt him. There'll be a lot of times when he lifts really well on the snatch, but he really has trouble clean and jerking well afterwards. There are times when he clean and jerks really great. A lot of times he didn't snatch well. On a day like today, when he came into the workout pretty tired, he made a big PR on the squat over the weekend. Came into the workout tired, and still was able to make that clean pull plus clean jerk with 180. That was pretty good. I mean, that's 90% of it's over 90% of his best clean jerk now is 195. That's over 90% in a situation on a day when I really didn't expect him to clean and jerk all that well.
I mean, there was a lot of work in that workout, and he still cleaned and jerked pretty well. That's not too bad. Anything.
That was better than the first one, I think. Less pause.
That was better than the first
one. She has this habit where, what she's doing is she gets almost to the point where you start the second pull and she wants to drop her shoulders, raise her hips, and then, swing her hips into it. And when she does that, she bangs the bar out away from it.
Yeah, right.
But she's strong like that. She can pull the bar high like that. It's just not in the right place. So it's a challenge of getting the bar just as high and in the right place and taking out that little hesitation. But like I said, she's definitely made progress, and I can see the weights going up a lot. What do you think overall of the workout?
Oh, I thought it was a tremendous workout yesterday. Just a tremendous amount of work and a tremendous amount of quality and improvement. They look good.
Yeah, it's nice to kind of hear that from somebody that hasn't been here in a couple months, because it's easier to see, when the last time you saw was 2 months ago now, than like for me, I'm in there every day, and sometimes it's hard to see the individual improvements and everything. But I think Jess has improved. John's got a lot stronger. You saw Caleb Whitby. He
Caleb.
cleaned 205 off a high block, and then today he came. I think his PR off that lower block was 180 or 185. You saw him today do 200 off the lower block. Killed it. Yeah, he murdered it. But he's had some problems catching weights, especially in the snatch. But
that's another guy that used to be forward, and now he's coming back in his foot, and he's catching bars coming in.
Yeah, you're seeing the clean go up a lot, though. Yeah. He's going to be a 200+ kilo clean jerker. Probably a big plus on the end of that. He's a guy that I think is capable of like a 220.
Oh, I think he is. Yeah.
But overall, right now in training, we're 3 weeks out, really 2.5 weeks now. But we're on our 3rd week out. We did a lot more work last week. Like today we did 3 sets, 3 doubles on the second exercise. Last week we were doing 6 doubles on the second exercise. So we've already started to calm down the really high volume stuff. This is definitely not an easy week. The guys are tired, the guys are sore, but next week, the second week out, we'll start to really lighten up Tuesday and Thursday's practices, and again cut down the amount of work on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then more peaking and more. We'll keep the intensity high, but we'll cut down the workload again the week before until Wednesday and Thursday and Friday are pretty easy, and hopefully everyone will be strong and recovered and everything on the day of the meet. What, in your opinion, if you had to pick somebody based on watching them for that practice, who would you pick to have like a breakout meet?
Boy, I have to go. I have to go back to James. I just do. I don't know. I kind of favor his attitude and the way he can excite himself on the bar and then calm himself right down when he sits down between attempts. Yeah. And that always, or in the past, I've seen that work out well for a lot of lifters that are like that.
That's probably an underappreciated ability, not to psych yourself up, because John does that as well as anybody.
Yeah.
But the ability to, once you're done lifting, immediately go back and be calm and save your energy. Now, John doesn't do that very well at all.
No.
Once he's up until the gas tank's empty. But the ability to get up and then calm down and then go forward. And I would have if you ask me, obviously I emotionally involved in all the lifters. I want them all to have a great breakout meet. But I would have to say that the way training is going right now, James definitely I could see making a huge PR. Chris Goot, he's a freaking great athlete, and I could see him. If he recovers before the meet, he's had some little nagging injuries, a shoulder, a wrist, or whatever. I can see if he's feeling good. But I gotta say, John is capable right now of making a huge PR. If you look at the lifts that he's done recently in training, you add them up, and you're looking at well over 360 as a total, and his biggest total ever is 351.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It could happen.
John's just when John gets on a streak and he's got his rhythm going, he's capable of doing as well as anybody. Period.
Yeah. Do you think, in your opinion, after watching practice one day, it's always interesting for me to hear what somebody else has to say, because sometimes it is a little different than what I'm thinking. But if you had to pick, since we're talking, we can't talk about everyone, but just since we're talking and we mentioned James, if you were coaching James between now and the competition, what would you be working on? What would you be focused on?
Probably more than anything else, technically his jerk. I think that would be just to make sure he reaches up and doesn't rush himself, and that would be about it. That would be about it. There's other problems he has, but I don't know that I'd be working on that the way he bends in the clean for the next couple of weeks before the meet. I don't think bringing that up a lot would necessarily help. He's going to do it at the meet, but also he shows the ability that when that happens to him, he still stands up and makes jerks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to make sure that jerk is good, just in his arms and the technique of his arms.
Something else, a guy we haven't talked about as much, but Mike Zella. I know the times that you've come down here, or come up here, I guess for you, live below me in Georgia. You've probably interacted with him more than most of the other guys. As you know, 69 kilo lifter. He's done 121. 122. He's done 122, 157.
Yeah.
As a 69. What if you were coaching him for the next 2 weeks before the meet? Is there any particular thing you would work on with that with him?
Boy, same thing, same lift, only a different problem. And we've talked about this before. His jerk, he tends to not dip enough, which we kind of worked on yesterday, and he did fine. And two, he recovers too quick. He doesn't settle himself in the split, and he bounces himself out of some jerks that he should make. He rebends his arms because he's pushing back up with his feet too fast. And that would probably be the one thing that I'd kind of make sure I was working on. Again, we know that sometimes Mike, he goes too far forward in his feet. He stays extended too long in the pull. But you're not going to cure that in 2 weeks. He knows there's a problem there, and he knows what he's got to do.
Yeah.
The jerk, I think that's just a thing. Like I say, we worked in his dip and drive yesterday, and he improved a tremendous amount. And he's just got to work on it, and then those arms, keep those arms straight.
Well, I pretty much agree. The last 2 weeks, that's been one of the big things is slowing down the jerk, waiting a second or two before recovery, making sure he squeezes the arms and upper back and holds it tight while he recovers. And that's not something he's incapable of doing. It's just like a mental lapse.
Yeah.
It's a mental lapse.
And I mean, there's a guy that did a lot of self-coaching.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know, and he's learning, and he's smart, and he knows it. And that's the kind of thing that, like I say, yesterday gave him a little extra attention, talked about that jerk about a half a minute, and then he had 4, 5, 6 more really good jerks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, it's been interesting. It's been interesting for me to hear what you have to say, and let's hope all this work pays off at the Arnold. I think it will. When you have a bigger group of lifters like this, you never usually. I mean, it'd be against the odds to have every single lifter lift great.
Mm-hmm.
But I certainly fully believe that we're going to end up with 3 or 4 people make PR totals.
Could very well.
or more, but we're going to have at least 3 or 4 people make a PR total, and that's all you can ask for really. In common, we had I think 4 guys at the American Open make PR totals. I'm pretty happy with that. You get 4 guys out. I think we had 7 male lifters at the American Open. You get 4 out of 7 make PR totals. That's a good meet. I hope we do the same thing again at the Arnold. And I would just like to thank you for coming down and helping out. It is a help when you come down. I hope you can do it more often in the future.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.